Hello, and welcome to Evergreen Learning Spotlight. Here in Evergreen Public Schools, we believe that all students can graduate with the skills to be world competitive when we provide them with a meaningful learning environment and teachers and staff who challenge them to reach their full potential. This program gives you the opportunity to see firsthand the extraordinary work that students and teachers are doing in our classrooms each and every day. Today, I'm fortunate to be joined by 3 students from Mountain View High School's Environmental Club, and we'll meet them now. Joining me are Jack Bernadovitz, a senior at Mountain View High School, Laurel Vasquez, who's a freshman at Mountain View, and Joey Eckhard, who's a senior at Mountain View. Welcome. So, Jack, let's start with you. Talk to me a little bit about the Environmental Club and some of the specific activities or projects that you've taken on recently.
Well, this year, this is our 5th year as a club at Mountain View, and we work as a big group, just all focusing on the environment and what we could do to make our school more environmentally friendly and to make an impact on our student body. And this year, we started the Thunder Recycling Program, which is a new recycling and composting program in our cafeteria and in our classrooms. So we have the bins, the regular recycling bins in classroom, but new this year in our cafeteria are new composting, recycling, and milk container collecting.
Great. Now, Laurel, why did you join the Environmental Club? What were you hoping to get out of joining?
I really want experience in just helping and promoting things in the school, and I thought we did that really well with the recycling program.
Great. Joey, talk to me a little bit about Thunder Recycles and the purpose of that.
Basically, we installed a composting system in our cafeteria. It was put in effect to reduce how much we waste. We have separate bins for compost, which is natural materials like paper, food scraps, that sort of stuff. And then we have the traditional garbage, which is like plastic bags, foil. And then we have a milk carton container that collects all of our milk cartons that can be taken and recycled. And then we also have a plastic bottle container that we've had for a while, but now we're utilizing all 4 of them.
So, Laurel, how did the idea for Thunder Recycles come about?
I think people just had ideas, and we really wanted to get our level 1 green school.
Yeah, this year we wanted to do Washington Green School certification, and the first step is waste management, so we wanted to start that this year.
Now, this is similar to a program at Heritage High School, correct?
Yeah, Heritage has done the recycling program and waste management already, and they're on to stage 2.
Okay, so you're trying to catch up with them.
Yeah.
So, how many students, Joey, are involved with Thunder Recycles and the Environmental Club?
There's about 15 to 20. We had a lot more when we were implementing the project. That's due to the fact that we needed volunteers to man the stations to help educate our student body about how you correctly put your waste in the containers.
So, Laurel, Miss Woods is your club advisor. What role does she play with this group?
She's kind of just a leader, and she just kind of starts us off, and the students really give the ideas, but she kind of promotes the ideas.
And what roles do the students play?
We just think up things like maybe the t-shirt dyeing and things like that to really help.
Talk to me, Jack, about teamwork in regards to the Environmental Club and the Thunder Recycles.
For our club, the Environmental Action Club, what we do is we work as one group, like I said before. We don't have executive leader or a committee or anything. We have our advisor, Mrs. Woods, who watches over, and then the students who each have an equal say, bring up ideas, volunteer same amount of time, and we just work together. And then for the Thunder Recycling, we had monitors, and so we divided up our time during lunch to stand outside of the containers, tell people what to throw away, what to compost, and we just all work together as an equal team.
Okay. Well, I know we have some video and photos and stuff of the group, so let's roll that and see if we can talk a little bit about what's going on in the photos, and let's take a look at some of this. So, Joey, tell me a little bit about the Environmental Club, how often you meet, how many students are involved.
We meet every Thursday, once a week, during our lunch. It's about half an hour long. There's about 15 students involved, and it's mainly student run. We have our advisor, Crystal Woods, who sits in over us, and she acts as like a corresponder, as our way to communicate with our administration and stuff like that.
That's great. What are these young ladies doing with these bins?
This is part of the Thunder Recycling Program, and so they're putting in recycling bins into classrooms with the recycle here, trash here, verifying what goes where. And so that was part of the Thunder Recycling Program, just bringing them to classrooms, making sure everybody has an opportunity to recycle, so if work you're done with paper.
So there weren't recycling bins in the classrooms beforehand? Or?
There were, but some classes didn't have. Like, they moved around. We're not exactly sure why. It just happened.
So it's a more coordinated effort now, and they're all the classrooms.
Mm-hmm. And then this is from last year. To start the Washington Green School certification, we need to make a waste audit. So this is trash collected from the cafeteria and classrooms. We poured it into a kiddie pool, and then we had to weigh it all out, divide it into bags, or into different bags with compost, trash, things like that. You had to weigh it, find what % of it could have been composted, and just to start our certification. And we'll have to do that later on this year to figure out how much the Thunder Recycling Program has worked.
And improve so.
And then this was beginning of this year with the Thunder Recycling Program. We had to make signs to educate the student body, like what goes where and which containers are what.
And the whole environmental club made the signs and participated in putting them up around the school?
Mm-hmm. So with our club, you could earn hours for community service. So some students did that, and we just all worked together. We had a sign making party after school. Those are some of the bins. Those are bigger ones in the cafeteria for compost and trash and things like that. And then this is in the cafeteria. You'll see some students monitoring, and they'll figure out which station you're going to be at. We had a schedule of who schedules what days. And so those are some of our students, our members.
And how long did the monitoring go on for?
3 weeks.
3 weeks?
3 weeks.
Okay.
Here you see a student that places a cardboard cup in the trash when it can be composted, so that's what the mentors acted as. They kind of just helped students get a better idea of what went where.
Okay, so if I had been there during that time and put something in the wrong bin, you would have politely told me that I could have recycled it or put it in the wrong bin. Okay.
We did a raffle as well to kind of promote our program, to get the students excited about composting, I guess.
Was there a prize at the raffle then? Or?
Yeah, we offered off
Gift cards and certificates cups and things like that. And a lot of the students figured out what they're doing early on. The middle schools have the same program as we do through waste management, and so a lot of people knew what they're doing already, and we're just helping students.
So Laura, are the freshmen better at doing this than the seniors because they did it while they were in middle school? It's okay, you can be honest. So.
I think people were nicer to us, I think. So maybe they tried harder. I don't know.
So Joy, what ways do you think you've benefited from being a participant in the environmental club and specifically Thunder Recycles?
It really educated me on what actually goes on in our school. You get an idea of how much we actually waste, and it's one thing to read about how much waste you actually produce, but to actually see it is another thing. And it really changed my outlook on what I use as a person.
So what was the thing that surprised you the most in far as you said you were looking at how much we waste?
Yeah.
What do you think the school was wasting the most of?
Well, we actually weren't efficiently recycling. There's a lot of items that can be recycled that the students were just throwing away because a lot of the times a trash can is more convenient than a recycling container. And so one thing that we want to do is make the other options more available to students so that they don't have to just go to the trash can.
Okay. Were either of you surprised of anything you saw when you were doing the waste audit that...
The only thing that surprised me were the few students that were like, no, I'm not going to recycle. And all we had to do is dig in and put it in the right spot. Mm-hmm. But it's how many people are willing to do it, that was a great thing. I was just shocked by the few that won it. That was it.
So you really had to plan this like you would a special event. So in addition to some event planning skills, what are some other skills that you think you've gained by being a member of the Environmental Club?
Through Environmental Action Club, I've gained leadership skills, working with other members, like how to work with other people, plan events. And after the environmental action, or Thunder Recycling, we started to work with Heritage, and so we're like two groups working together. So blending and merging groups.
So working with students from other schools.
Mm-hmm.
And Laurel, what activities, or excuse me, what have you learned through the activities that are going to make you better prepared as you move on in high school?
I think I'd hope to be some type of leader, so I've definitely seen a lot of leadership because it's kind of just whoever wants to be a leader, and I'd like to see how that works.
So developing your leadership skills. And do you ever have cause to use skills you've learned in other classes for what you're doing with Thunder Recycles and the Environmental Club and some of the other projects that you worked on?
Personally, I've been part of the Mountain View's leadership program, so a lot of that has carried over. And possibly art because of the poster making. That's the only thing I could think of.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the other projects you have coming up with the Environmental Club.
Well, recently we started working with Heritage High School and their Environmental Club. And we're going to work together, meet every month, and figure out ideas for competitions and fundraisers and things like that. We have in mind the Jeans for Teens fundraiser through
And what is that?
Aeropostale. It's where local groups can collect teens, and they give them to Aeropostale, a store in the mall, and then they give it to youth that are needy or homeless. And last year, a lot of teens went to Haiti after the earthquake.
Teens or jeans went to Haiti, or both?
The Jeans.
Okay,
all went there.
okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. That sounds like an interesting project. So some of the other things that you guys are working on.
Mm-hmm. And just figuring out how we could get both schools to work together, and then hopefully get Union and Heritage, or Union and Evergreen to come along, and get the whole district working together.
On recycling and
Just being environmental, make it a green district.
the school board has a policy about reducing our carbon footprint
Mm-hmm.
as a district, so this falls right in with what they're doing. Laurel, what has been your favorite project so far as far as participating?
I thought that the Thunder Recycles was, I participated quite a bit in that, and I thought it gave some perspective on things, and it was just kind of like helped me get integrated into the group, just in general.
Now that you guys have spent some time working with the Environmental Club, what's the message you want to give back, like to your family and friends or people who maybe aren't in the school district about recycling?
Just remember to compost and recycle and do your part every day. Like the little thing, like recycling a light bulb the right way, or remembering to put some paper in the recycling instead of the trash could make a big difference.
Do you guys ever go out into the community and talk to anybody about recycling, or is that just another idea for your group now?
That's another idea.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, so as we wrap up, is there anything you want to add that or I haven't asked you yet that
No, I think we're good.
Covered it.
burning desire? I want to thank you all for joining us, and keep up the good work with your recycling program in the Environmental Club. Thanks.
Thanks.
This program is being provided by the 15 members of the Vancouver Educational Telecommunications Consortium, TV, etc.